Hi students, this is Mrs. Anderson. I'm coming to you online to teach you your math lessons. Today we are going to be talking about 12-1, time to the half hour and quarter hour. All right, so our learning objective today is we will tell time to the nearest half hour and quarter hour using analog and digital clocks. This is an analog clock. You see them at your school, they are on your walls. I just want you to be aware that this is the one that means the analog clock. Digital clock just tells you the numbers, and it tells it digitally on a clock, an alarm clock. You can see them on your smartwatches. And then we are also going to be identifying time for AM and for PM. All right, so we are going to go over our vocabulary. Our vocabulary, you may write it down if you'd like in your math journal or just on a piece of paper, because I know you probably don't have your math journals with you. But we're going to be going over each of these. All right, so 1 hour. 1 hour is one time around on the clock. It is 60 minutes. So it goes all the way, this way, around, and that is 1 hour, 60 minutes. 1 day has 24 hours. Half hour is 30 minutes. So if you are on the 9 o'clock, we are going to go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Half hour is 30 minutes. Quarter hour, we're going to go back, is 15 minutes. Ready? 5, 10, 15. That's quarter of the hour. 15 minutes. 1 minute, which are these little blue dots on the clock, 1 minute is 60 seconds. And then AM is the hours between midnight and noon. So that's the time that you are sleeping during midnight. And PM, the hours between noon and midnight. All right, so that is our vocabulary. I know there is a lot. I wanted to go over that, as well as I have drawn a little clock here, and I wanted to show you. There is a blue hand and a red hand. How do you tell the difference? How do you tell the difference between this short hand and the long hand? And this is how I tell the difference. The hour hand is the shorter hand, and it is actually spelled shorter. H-O-U-R. That spells hour. And it fits right on the short hand. Minute, those letters spell a longer word, and so it goes on the longer hand. So this blue hand right here is the minute hand, and this red hand is the hour hand. It's just a little fun way that you can remember. All right, so at home you are more than welcome to draw your clocks, or I have also provided a paper that your parents can print off for you for a clock that you can make at home. All right, so if you have one of these, great, but you don't need one of the plastic clocks. You can draw, or you can cut this out and have it for yourself at home. All right, so our story problem is going to start like this, and I always tell my students that we need to highlight and underline the important parts. So, Elena needs to call her friend at 7:15. 7:15. Then she needs to leave for school at 7:30. The question is, how can you use your clock face to show these times so she will be on time? All right, so our first one that we're going to show you is 7:15. That's the important one right here, at 7:15. That's why I've circled and underlined it. Here, down here, the next line, she needs to leave for school by 7:30 or she's going to be late. So we have to make sure we understand how much time that is and how we're going to do it on our clocks. So the first one that we're going to do is 7, and you all know time, telling time to the hours. 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. So the minute hand will be up at the 12, and the hour hand will be on the 7. But we're going 7:15. We're counting by 5, so count with me. 5, 10, 15. This is 7:15. The hour hand is pointing in between the 7 and the 8 because it is not on 7 o'clock anymore. It's a little bit past the hour. So the hour hand moves as well. This is 7:15. All right, so going on 7:15. You know that the time we just did is 7:15, or it is 7:15. All right, 7:15. So I've drawn a circle and I've cut it into 4s. We've done fractions before. Everything that we have done will help you with anything that you're doing. So fractions relates to quarters. One of these pieces I have shaded in. It is 1/4 or quarter. Quarter means 15 minutes. So each of these pieces is 15 minutes. All right, so that's what I want you to be thinking about is quarter equals 15 minutes. So if it is 7:15, it will be 7:15. 15 minutes past 7 o'clock. All right, so I'm going to give you a time. And I would like you to go ahead and you draw your clock. Or if you have this paper that you've printed off, you may use that as well. But I'm going to give you a time and I'm going to write it on my paper. It is going to be 6:15, or there's another way to write it. 6:15. All right, so I'll give you a moment. If you'd like to learn to draw a clock, you draw a circle, you put a 12 at the top, 6 here, 3, 9, and then you add the other numbers, just so you know you have them evenly distributed. All right, so go ahead and put where the minute hand goes and your hour hand. I'll give you a moment and I'll do it on my clock. All right, are you ready? So you are going to draw a dot in the middle. Your hour hand is going to point to your hour, and it's the short hand. So I'm going to draw a short hand that goes here. And the minute hand, 6:15 or 6:15. Ready? Count with me. 5, 10, 15. Quarter means 15, so it is 15 minutes after 6 or 6:15. All right. we are going to move on. That's the first one. So now, going back to our story problem, we are going to be focusing on the 7:30. How can you use your clock face to show these times? Well, we already did 7:15. Now we're trying to figure out, okay, how many more minutes does she have before she has to leave for school, because we don't want her to be late. So we are going to do our 7:15 and we're going to continue. Ready? 5, 10, 15. 15 more minutes to get to 7:30. You guys see that? 7:30? 30? All right. So she has 15 minutes. It's very important that you know how to tell time because you don't want to be late. So one way that we write this is 7:30 or 7:30. So we talked about our fractions. Now we're going to be drawing a clock, but we're going to cut it in half. Half past. Half of the clock is 30 minutes, and this side is 30 minutes, because a whole hour equals 60 minutes. So it's 7:30. That is how we write it. So now, if she got to school on time and she left, because now school is going to start at 7:45. If you think about this now, okay? 7:45. What is the next hour after 7? The next hour, if we kept going, it is 8 o'clock. So 7:45 is 7, and then count with me. Ready? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. 7:45 is 7:45. 7:45. And that's what we're learning today. As long as you know that quarter means 15 minutes, and when it points to the 9 on your clock, ready? I'll show you how to draw it again. 6, 3, 9, 2, 4, 5, 7, 8, 10, 11. Okay? When it points to the 9, it is 7:45. When it points to the 3, the minute hand, it is 7:15, or you could say 7:15. The 6 is 7:30. All right, so she was able to get to school on time. Elena was, because she knows that it was 7:15 when she had to make the call, and 7:30 when she needed to get to school. Okay, so one thing that we are going to be doing is having your papers out for reteaching. All right, this paper is on the PDF form that your parents can print off for you, or you can just follow along with a piece of paper and do the problems with me. All right, so going over this to remind you, an hour is 60 minutes long. Okay, a half hour is 30 minutes long. quarter hour is 15 minutes long. We usually use a highlighter. If you don't have one, you can underline it like I did. AM hours are the hours from 12 midnight to 12 noon. PM hours are from noon to midnight. These are different clocks. We went over half past. When it points to the 6, it is half past or 9:30 or 9:30 written digitally. So these are different ways that you can write it, okay? When it points to the 3, it is 15 minutes after 12 or quarter after 12. Or you can have the word past 12 as well. You may see it. That's why I've written it that way. Okay, so these are 3 different ways that you can write this time. You could just say the hour, 12, 15, digitally with the numbers. Or you can write it 12, 15 in word form. Or you could say 15 minutes after or past 12 or quarter after 12. Those are the different ways that you can write this. Okay? Now, when your minute hand is pointing to the 9, this is the digital. This one is the analog. Okay? It is 1:45 digitally. 1:45, that is written in word form. Or 45 minutes after 1. 45 minutes after the hour of 1. 15 minutes to 2, which showed you okay, wanted to show you, ready? 5, 10, 15. 15 minutes to 2. Or quarter to 2, because 15 is quarter. Okay, that's our review. So now we're going to go ahead and do these problems. This is telling you to write it in different forms in different ways. So the first one, remember I said the shorthand is the hour, longhand is the minute. It is 1, which goes to the hour, and if you count with me, 5, 10, 15, 1:15. Or you could say quarter after 1, because 15 minutes is quarter. Okay, let's go to the next one. This is digitally, so we can't write digitally. This one is digitally. So instead, I wrote 3:45 in word form. Or you could say quarter to the next hour. 15 minutes to the next hour. After 3 comes 4, so it is quarter to 4. All right? And if you have any questions, please contact your teacher and ask any questions that you need. All right, so let's go to the next one. This one, the hour hand, is between the 2 and the 3. It's not quite to the 3 yet, so it's still in the 2 hour. So it's 2 o'clock, and how many minutes? Count with me. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So it is 2:30. When it goes to the 6, it is also written half past whatever the hour is, which is 2 o'clock, half past 2. All right, the last one has a story problem. How many minutes are there in 3/4? That's pretty important. So I always tell my students to underline or highlight the important parts. And I've circled it too. 3/4. Now, remember when we drew that circle and we cut it into 4s? So I drew the circle, cut it into 4s. Each of those squares are a quarter. And we have learned that every quarter is 15 minutes. So I put 15 minutes in each of them, and I need 3/4. So I added them up, or you could do 15 times 3 because it's repeated addition, and it is 45 minutes. So explaining your answer, you need to write, there are 15 minutes in 1/4. That's what we've learned. So in 3/4, there are 45 minutes because I proved it by adding them together, and that is my answer. All right, so at this time I would be playing you Brain Pop Jr. to going over, quarter, and half past. You can also look on YouTube for this. I'll see if I can attach that link so that you can watch it as well. But on the back of this, there is another paper for the practice. Please go ahead and print it off. If not, you can see this. Here's 1 through 6, and the directions are write the time shown on each clock in 2 different ways. We learned how to write it in 2 different ways, and you can always refer back to this paper and your notes that we took to help you answer these questions. And here is 7 and 8. You may print them off, or you can just do them on a paper as well. All right, I hope you enjoyed this lesson. I love telling time. Make your own clocks at home using paper or anything you'd like to help you out with these lessons. All right, I hope I see you soon. We miss you so much, 3rd grade. Take care. Bye.